Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel and to a brand new episode of Task 1 Tuesdays. Here we have a brand new question for a letter, and here we go. Write a letter to your local council that the street you are living in has become dirty lately. In your letter, you should say why is it happening, what problems will it cause, what your suggestions are. Begin your letter as follows. Dear blank. So first things first, figure out if you have an informal letter or a formal one. Now, since this is not being written to a friend or a family member, this is clearly more formal. And so it says start your letter with dear blank. So what you do, of course, you don't just, you could, for example, say dear sir or madam, but usually you might know the name of your local counselor. So depends if you know their name. You could just write something like Dear Mr. Smith. Or you could just write, Dear Sir or Madam. Either way is fine. Doesn't really make a difference. Anyway, so first things first, why is this happening? Why has the street that you are living in become so dirty? What's the problem, basically? But first you need to just say, okay, so I am a resident of so and so place and I have some concerns, right? Just a very, very small background first. And no, you don't need to state your name, your address, stuff like that. Not really. Because the letter is just the letter that you are expected to write is a very watered down, very, very simple version. So don't write too much info. Just stick to what is expected. Here they say, why is the problem happening? So just a quick one-line introduction. Okay, I am a resident of so-and-so place, and I have some concerns. So, dear Mr. Smith, I am a resident of your constituency. Brightford, whatever, something like that. Could be any random name. I'm a resident of your constituency, Brightford, and I have a concern I'd like to bring to your notice. To bring something to someone's notice is, when you have like a problem or something important and you want someone to look into that. So bring to your notice, bring to your attention. Lately, the streets around my home, in this neighborhood, have become rather filthy. You can't use filthy, I guess. Rather unkempt and have started to stink of refuse. You can't say trash because that's a bit of a casual word. Maybe we'll just say okay. Why is it happening? That's the main thing. Why is it happening? This is because the local garbage men have been on strike since the past week over, let's say over their wages, maybe something like that, over their wages. So I think that's good enough. This is because local garbage men have been on strike since the past week over their wages. Okay. And let's check the word count. You don't need to write much, just about, let's say, 50-ish words. And this right now is 52. It's good enough. Maybe I can shorten this and still add some more, information. Lately the streets here, I don't need to say in this neighborhood, have become either unkempt and have started since because local garbage men have been on strike since the past week of the wages. So our waste is not being collected regularly. And so it's just the waste is piling up, the garbage is piling up. There we go. So that's 58 words. That's it. That's all. Just 2-3 sentences. That's all. What problems can this cause? As you know, sanitation is essential to any community's being. There have already been, let's say, reports of rats being found scurrying around and even into people's homes. There are many young children living here, children and the elderly. Call this neighborhood home. We must protect them from disease spread by waste, right? Very, very simple but effective. 49. There are many young children and the elderly who call this neighborhood home and must protect them from diseases spread by waste because they're, sensitive. There have already been reports of rats being found scurrying around and even getting into people's homes, which can lead to a plague-like situation, right? There we go. That's enough information. You don't have to add anything more. That's already 57 words. What more do you need? That's all. Simple, straight, to the point. Writing letters is easy and can even be fun. And last thing, what your suggestions are. So if you're suggesting something, I recommend using modal verbs. So because you're recommending that, hey, you should do this, you ought to do that, but you have to be careful. When you make suggestions to a friend, you can use stronger modal verbs. You can say things like, you should, you have to, you need to. But to a stranger or, in a formal setting, you have to be more polite and less direct. You have to be more indirect. So in that case, I'd recommend using softer, weaker modal verbs. For example, it would be a good idea too. You can use the indirect form, right? Instead of saying you have to, which is very demanding. It sounds very demanding, doesn't it? So it would be a good idea to, just, acquiesce to the workers' demands for the sake of our health and well-being. They do a good job. They do a good and important job, without which, our community is weaker. We could also arrange groups of volunteer. Meanwhile, groups of volunteer workers soft ones, could also be arranged to ensure that our streets are, garbage is picked up and disposed of, and and the streets get a thorough cleaning. There we go. And that's good enough. Let's see, it's probably, yep, this is 60 words. That's all you need. You don't need anything beyond this. That's it, 2-3 sentences, and your job is done. The last thing we need is just to say, something like, I look forward to, not a response, more specifically, I look forward to a timely resolution of our concerns. And then you can end with, because you know this person's name, you can end with yours sincerely. But if you're writing to a complete stranger, then you use faithfully. So yours sincerely, something like that. There we go. Or even Mrs. Larson. But it's good to use your full name. And that's literally it. That's all. There's nothing else to it. So let me put all of that together. Here's our nice little letter. And that's 192 words, so it's a good length as well. And there you go. There's your entire letter from start to finish in less than 10 minutes. Wow, that has to be one of the quickest letters I've ever written. But you see how easy it is. And I hope that you watch more of these videos so I can show you just how easy it can be, not just to write letters, but to write good letters that make sense, that really deal with whatever bullet point they throw at you. So yeah, that was our video for today. Don't forget to check out other videos that we have for writing, for essays, letters, for speaking as well. And leave a like down below and a comment in case you have any feedback, any suggestions, or anything you'd like to share with us. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.